Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going.
Minutes past the hour 7 in the AM. It is the 15th day of June 2023. My name is MC Kalia, and this is the Morning Glory Show. It is the most comprehensive talk show in Kenya today. So welcome to the most comprehensive talk show in Kenya today. And this particular morning, all we are talking about is economy. So yesterday, the finance bill just passed, and we have a finance expert to tell us what that means. But then before even that, the life or the quality of life and also the cost of basic commodities has been skyrocketing. Talk about fuel, talk about sugar and everything else, then the prices have actually risen, and everyone is in a quagmire and asking whether it will ever get better. During these times, then adjustment is actually quite key. So we have with us Anthony Kiplima, who is actually a finance expert to take us through that. We also have with us Sarah. Sarah is a psychologist, and during such times, it is important that you have what we call resilience. And resilience in this case is psychological resilience, because bread yesterday was 50 shillings, today it is 65 shillings. Fuel was 135 shillings, and today it's 180 shillings. You need quite some resilience, and that is why we have with us Sarah, who is actually a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. So make sure that you be with us. Of course, tag as many friends as possible, and let's have this conversation. But then before we start that particular conversation, we are coming live from Dawi Afrique Photography. Dawi Afrique Photography is a production house based in Eldoret, Zion Mall, basement A. Anything that goes into video production, anything that goes into photo production, Dawi Afrique are here for you. We're just here to make sure that you enjoy good experiences in front of the camera and some well-documented work at the end of the rope. As we love to put it, we do images just beyond imagination. You also need to dress to be addressed. Look at Kiplimo this particular morning. He has just dressed to be addressed. And that is what we are talking about exactly. We are talking about you visiting this Square Fashion House, getting yourself some nice garments, making sure that you are actually well dressed. Of course, make sure that you are dressed according to the occasion. So if it is a suit, if it is a nice top like that one Sarah is wearing, then you also need to visit D-Square. So make sure that you visit D-Square D-Square Fashion House. But then you can also visit D-Square School of Fashion Design and Tailoring and learn how to dress people to be addressed. You also need to maybe you need to take up fashion as a career, then visit D-Square School of Fashion Design and Tailoring. Now, time for my guest to say hi. I'll start with Kiplimo. Say hi to our guest. Of course, you're not new here. I think you are here. I think even last week you were here. Yeah. So say hi to our viewers na waambie umerudi tena.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm CP Anthony Kiplimo. I'm a tax, accounting and finance expert. Yeah, hapa ni nyumbani. Yeah, we have been here before and let's engage today.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, once again, he's here to just make sure that you get your financial life together. Yeah, so Sarah tells me there's something called financial life. So that's exactly why she's here. Sarah, karibu sana. And of course, it is also not your first time to be here. Say hi to our guests and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Kalia, for hosting. My name is Sarah Changalwa. I'm a counseling psychologist and a mental health practitioner. I am the founder of an organization called Mentally Serene Hub that mainly deals with the provision of mental health care and well-being services to all individuals. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. You say to all individuals. So that means even those who have been hit by life because of the skyrocketing everything, then you're also able to help them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you're at home, of course, you can be part of this conversation in the comment section. Ingia pale kwenye comment section. I can see already there is also another finance expert who's told me, how did I miss this? Daniel, next time we'll make sure you are here. Actually, Daniel is also a very senior finance officer in this country. Just we'll make sure that next time he's on set. But then this particular morning, you can also follow the conversation, be part of it in the comment section. If you have any question to ask two of my guests, make sure also that you do ask those questions, because I'll be sure enough to make sure that those questions are asked. So I'll start with you, Kiplim. Of course, everyone says that life is getting harder because everything is expensive. And the question I have this particular morning is it by default that life is getting harder? Is it normal that things get hard? Or is there a mistake that we did somewhere as a people and as a country, and that is why we're here? What exactly does it mean when you say that the cost of living has gone up?
Yeah, actually it's true. The cost of living is so high at the moment. Yeah, compared to 5 years ago, at the moment, actually the cost of living is so high. And let us forget, we are just out of a pandemic in 2019, 2020, 2021. And remember at that time, people are saying that the effect of the pandemic will be felt in the next 10 years. We are just at the third year, going to the fourth year of the pandemic. And the pandemic really caused a lot of mess, from supply chain, from food chains, so many other things that the pandemic disrupted at that time. And you know, the world is a fragile world. Any mishap in any supply chain, any mishap in anything in this world, the effect is immense. Okay, remember, like Kenya, we are a net importer. we import like 60 to 70% of our food stuff, our goods, our equipment. Okay, so with the effect of the pandemic, we have really felt the side effect of it at the moment. Now, this is the time now we are feeling the side effects. The countries that export to us, they shut down their processes. They shut down their production for 1 year. That's 2 years. Yeah? And now this way now you know with any production gap, okay, for a country like China to come back to normality. We export all we import all our electronics. We import everything from China, all our machines. So at the moment, the machine that used to cost maybe $1 million 3 years ago before the pandemic, now it costs like 5 million. You know, the food, the palm oil that we use to manufacture our oil. We import our palm oil from Indonesia mostly. And remember, Indonesia also shut down like 2 years. Okay, now we are feeling the impact. There's demand for palm oil all over. Okay, sugar. Remember, we have never seen the price of sugar reaching 400 shillings in history. Okay, we have never seen it. Usually, it usually be to maximum it was around 200, but this time 400 shillings. And remember, the government even is trying to import this sugar, but they can't get the suppliers. Okay, because there's still the effect. The effect of the pandemic is also feel in those countries that we used to import sugar from. Obviously, our sugar has never been enough for our local consumption. Usually, most of our sugar, we usually import our sugar. So those effects is one causing the cost of living. It's true, the cost of living is high. People are suffering. The incomes has not changed for most of the people. Still, the salary has not increased. So people are suffering, but we have to. It has been happening. It happened in 1992. There was a big inflation in 1992. 2008 slightly, but now this time it has been a big mess. Okay, it has been a big mess, but people will get through this.
Okay, I love the ending when Kiplimo says that people will get through this. So tune in, make sure you follow us to the end, because we shall surely get through these. And now coming to you, Sarah, let's look at the psychological impact of all these that Kiplimo has mentioned.
So normally, when you introduce something new to someone's life, be it good or bad, it introduces a form of stress, a form of strain, and a form of anxiety. So that is how it starts affecting the mental well-being of each individual. When tough economic times are existent, it becomes harder for people to provide for their basic or essential needs. In psychology, we have something called the hierarchy of needs. And at the base of the hierarchy of needs, it's an individual's ability to satisfy the normal or the basic needs. Once you take away this ability from someone, it means you're introducing a form of stress, strain, and anxiety. That is why we have escalating rates of depression right now, escalating suicidal ideations, and you notice a lot of people are going through struggles. Most of them are provoked by lack of finances, because when I do not have finances, I'm not able to provide for my basic needs. I'm not able to cater for the presenting needs that come. So once I have this form of stress, I am not able to relate effectively with other individuals. I am not able to optimize my capacity as a person, because most of the time I'm holding back. Individuals are developing sleep disorders like insomnia. You cannot have a peaceful night on an empty stomach. You're going to have eating disorders like anorexia. You have to restrain yourself in terms of dieting. And in the process, they are going to also develop other physical illnesses. We have something we call somatoform disorders or somatoform illnesses. This is where your body makes you feel sick. You can even literally vomit, literally have stomachache. But if we run the tests in hospital, if we run a full hemogram, you're not sick. So you're mentally sick and it is presenting itself in your body. So the tough economic times are presenting such situations into people's lives, which are automatically affecting their mental health. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, as Kiplimo put it, it is not something that we have so much control of. And so that means that we need to make adjustments. Maybe let's start to the adjustments that somebody needs to make psychologically. Nafaa kujipangaje kiakili so that I know, okay, now we are in this mess. And so this is what I'm supposed to do.
The most basic adjustment one can make is to not be so rigid. Be in a position where you're able to accept and to adjust to changes. Accepting first that situations have become tough. Yes, I was economically stable, I was financially stable, but times have changed. I used to afford this and this commodity, but I'm not in a position to accommodate them right now. So the first stage is acceptance. Accept that there is change. The change has a negative impact on yourself. You do not like the change, but next you need to adjust. And by adjusting now, you need to put your priorities right. Be in a position to identify the things that you need most. Differentiate between your needs and your wants. There are those things you need, and there are those things you really, really want. So for the things that you need and you can do without, and you can be able to adjust yourself financially, you can be able to postpone them for later. These are the things that do not have an emergency. Yes, you need them, but you can do without them. You can still survive without those things. So be in a mental capacity to be able to differentiate and to discipline yourself. As much as I want to go out on the weekend and I do not have the money to go out on the weekend, I can try and make my home environment an outing for myself. Do something different. Modify your house arrangement so that it looks like a new place. So you don't have to go to a fancy hotel to get whatever it is that you want. Next is being in a position to accept yourself or your situation. I used to have a posh kind of lifestyle that I cannot be able to satisfy right now. So most of the time, we keep asking ourselves, what will people say? I used to drive to work and now I'm using a matatu. What will people say? How are they going to see me? So at the end of the day, you're living your life to satisfy the needs or to satisfy the wants that other people have rather than your own needs and your own wants. So be in a position to look at yourself first before you look at other people. Am I at peace with myself? Am I able to adjust or to reframe? Is this kind of life that I am living able to be in the right place for me to survive? So if first the peace comes from within yourself and the survival comes from within yourself, it becomes easier for you to cope with tough times. But if you adjust or you focus on what other people say or what other people think or what society demands, you're never going to be mentally peaceful or your mental well-being is going to be in trouble. So be in a position to have reality checks for yourself and the flexibility to adjust with the situations. Because sometimes we fail because we are so rigid. We are not open to learning. We are not open to change. So be open to change as an individual.
Be open to change as an individual. Of course, that is one of the biggest points that you'll get this particular morning. If you're tuned in at home, please help me share the broadcast. Of course, I can see a few comments here and there. There's somebody called Kimutai Sirotich says, good morning, Morning Glory Show. Watching. Say hi to Sarah. Thank you so much. Kiptabri Met says he's watching from Sisibo, Eldoret. Thank you so much. Joseph Meli says, good morning. Say hi to director CPA Kiplima. Of course, I didn't mention that in his introduction, but then we'll talk about it at some point. Anyway, Mike Kiptanuika Ilel says, hello, following you from Eka Hotel. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Just make sure that you do help me share the broadcast. If you have not clicked the like button, click the like button. I'll be back to read more of those comments. Bring those questions. If you have any questions to ask, we have a psychologist on set. We also have a finance expert on set. And now this question comes to Kiplimo. What adjustments are we to make, especially in terms of our finances? What are we supposed to adjust, especially for those who have salaries, for those who are in business, there are those who have kids in school and all that. What adjustments are we supposed to make?
Okay. Now, with these tough economic times, the best way someone to do is to now critically look at your finances. First of all, you need to critically analyze your income. What's your source of income? If it's salary, how much do you earn? If you have a salary, if you have a side hustle, how much is the side hustle giving you? If you are in business, how much? What is the net earnings from your business? Now, after critically analyzing your income, now next you go to my spending. How much do I spend? How much do I pay for my rent? How much do I pay for my fuel? How much do I pay for my transport? How much do I pay for my food? Okay, you need to criticize those ads one by one. Now, after looking at your expenditure, at your income, now consider now the cost of living now has gone up. Okay, how much can you sacrifice? Okay, if you used to take lunch of maybe 300 shillings per day, can you take your own? Can you sacrifice lunch? Okay, can you take lunch to work? Okay, can you take lunch to your business? Those are the ads you must look for. If you are using a car and you are the only one using that car, okay, from your place, and maybe during the day there is no need for that car, can you consider maybe using even a matatu? Okay, there's some people who usually bring their kids with their cars. Can you consider even leaving the car at your kids' place, at your kids' school, for you just to save those extra expenses? Okay, look at your food. Okay, how much food do you buy? Okay, can you source your food from a cheaper place? Okay, people in Rift Valley, most of us we know where we come from. We come from around this place. Sometimes they don't need for you to buy things like mboga. Okay, for you to buy maize. We have maize in our farms. Okay, can you try as much to minimize your cost? Instead of you going to buy hunger, can you just use your own maize? Instead of you buying vegetables, can you source vegetable maybe directly from the market instead of you going through maybe there are these expensive joints where you buy fruits. Can you just go direct to the market? You just the key point is to critically analyze your expenses. Okay, if we are used to going to outings, if you are a out person, you on a weekend you spend like 20,000, 30,000. Can you really look at this expenditure? And I'm sure if you look at your expenditure ads one by one, you'll start realizing that you can cope with these situations. You don't have to need to live like the way you used to live. You can minimize expenditure according to the times that are here, and for sure you'll go through these challenging times. Yeah.
Okay, that is CPA Anthony Kiplimo. Of course, this is the Morning Glory Show. We are coming live from Dawi Afrique Photography. If you are tuned into this particular broadcast, make an effort of just sharing it with your friend. Help me share it with a friend. Let's have as many people watching this particular broadcast. And if you are watching for the first time, click the notification button so that the next time we go live, you are able to also watch this particular broadcast. So make sure that you create some time, and let's always have this morning to just make sure that we also educate ourselves, that we also give ourselves hope, and also make sure that we are pushing ourselves to a better level, and that we survive these times that we live in. Of course, very nice comments coming in. And the next question that will come to you, Sarah, is about you've both talked about minimizing our expenditure. You've talked about accepting the situation. I mean, there are people who had loans that they are unable to pay. We are talking about financial crisis in this case. There's somebody already in a quagmire. There's already mtu mwenye amechotwa na sako and all those. Of course, I received a lot of those when I put up those ones. How do I remain intact, as you say, yet I no longer have all the things I used to have? How am I supposed to approach this?
From the basics, or the first step you need to do is recognize the situation you're in. Yeah, I am employed, yes, I have a personality out there, but at the end of the day, when I come back home, there is Mshwari, there is the KCB M-Pesa text, there is the Fuliza, there is whatever. So recognize your place. Recognize the situation that you're going through. Yes, I have debts. I have bills to pay. I have fare. I have school fees, whatever it is. Recognize all the things that you need to do. And then prioritize them. So yes, I know I have this and this and this I need to do, but I need to know what I need to work on first. Come up with a priority list, come up with a plan on how you're going to address each issue. Because some of the things we are going through or the challenges we are experiencing, they have a ripple effect. And by a ripple effect, I mean, if you solve issue number 1, it automatically gives you a way into solving issue number 2. So be in a position to say, this is what I am going to start with. Because one of the things which gives us a lot of anxiety and panic attacks is when we are overthinking or we are thinking about so many issues all at once, and then we are not able to develop even one solution for any of the issues. But if we prioritize and say, yes, I have debts, I have bills to pay, I have maybe school fees, I have this and this, so which one comes first? Or I need to buy shoes, I need to buy clothes, but do the shoes that I have or the clothes that I have able to sustain me for this period? You get away with that. This is not necessary. You take it away. You go to the second thing. I have debts to pay. Am I able to pay all the debts all at once? Reality is no, because you're going through tough economic times. So you put yourself in a position where, am I able to deal with this thing right now? And again, some of the things which we overlook is being able to, or being in a position to solicit support. And soliciting support, it could be either from the basics, from family, from your close friends or your intimate friends, your close circle, or from even experts, like financial experts, to advise you and say, you have this amount of salary, you have this amount of debt, your needs are like this. This is how you can do. Because at some point in life, we always feel like it is just about us. We have blind spots. And blind spots are those things that we do not know about ourselves, but other people know about us. We have weaknesses, of which our weaknesses can be made strengths if we seek the right counsel or if we seek the right support. So be in a position to learn also. Who are you learning from, and what lessons are you picking from situations or events, so that you can be able to maximize your life and be able to adjust effectively. So that is how you get to cope, because most of the things you cannot do on your own, you can solicit support and you can get to shed light on how to do it. Because some of these things we go through mentally, you do not need to walk alone. It is not a lonely journey, but just reducing yourself to a point where you say, I am not able to do this alone and I need support to be able to be helped and to do this. It can go a long way in helping you get help. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And now, same question to you, Kiplimo. Let's talk about debt and debt management and the crisis that comes with it. So many people have had their properties sold during this time. Of course, you've said it is post-COVID, but then how do I even negotiate with my debtors that I'm in a bad situation at the moment? Because as we see it, if you read the newspaper today, then you still notice that so many people are being auctioned. How do you approach such situations?
First of all, people are in debt, and one of the biggest issues of debt in Kenya is the cost of debt. Especially in Kenya, we have these predatory lenders, these digital lenders and these microfinances. And the best way that somebody can do is, first of all, at these tough times, the best way, can you first avoid this debt? And if it is necessary for you to take a debt, which kind of debt can you go for? Okay. First of all, these other debts, these microfinances, the digital platforms, all their debts are not sustainable, and it is proven actually. You can't take a debt from this microfinance and for you to succeed. And I don't think there's any success story from this microfinance. So first of all, can you first of all try as much as possible to avoid going to debt when you're in a challenge? Okay. Next, if it's a must for you to go to a debt, which kind of debt are you supposed to look into? Okay. The best debt, obviously, in Kenya is a SACCO debt. Okay. If you take a loan from a SACCO, that's one of the cheapest and the most accessible Okay, and the most practical, especially even in terms of repayment, the repayment times are so good. Okay, the next type of loan that you can take is in a bank, in a financial institution. Okay, financial institution is the best place for you to go to get a debt. Okay, so critically examine your debt need. If you have a need for debt, next thing, where can I go for a debt? Okay, where can I go for debt? If you're in business, critically examine the need for that debt. How much is the interest? You know, as most of the time we just borrow without looking at the interest rate. Okay, make sure the interest you take is an annual interest. Don't take a monthly interest. Okay, some people go for these digital lending platforms, forgetting that these guys are giving you a monthly interest rate. Okay, if you go for a SACCO, they're giving you an annual rate. They'll give you 10%, 12% per annum. Okay, for a bank, they give you 13%, 14, 16 per annum. But if you go to this other microfinance and this other financial institution, they're giving you 10% per month. Okay, that's very punitive for a business. Okay, so if you're a business, look at the kind of debt that you're in. And if you're in debt now, because obviously at the moment, some people are in debt. If you're in debt, what's the best way for you to do in this crisis? First of all, I know it's difficult, but you can try. Try and engage your lender. Okay? Try and engage your lender. Tell your lender, I'm in a crisis. Okay? How can you help me? Okay? Most of the lenders, unless he or she is a child, okay? They don't listen. Childlocks don't listen. But if a normal lender, I'm very sure he can know that you're in trouble, and he can give you good repayment terms. He can reschedule your repayment. Okay? Talk to your lender. If you can reduce the interest rate, okay? If you can reduce your interest rate, sometimes you can even do offsetting of loans. If this loan is so expensive, you can take a cheaper loan and offset an expensive loan for you to get longer repayment periods. Okay, so you look for ways of managing debts to relieve stress. Our sister here said, understand your situation. Okay, make sure you know a situation. How best can you be able to save yourself? Okay, and in debt management, there are so many ways of you relieving your pressure. Okay, and I'm very sure if you follow these steps, for sure you'll get some relief as you continue to face these challenges. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And of course, same question coming back to you, Sarah. Somebody is asking about the stress, the anxiety, and the depression that comes with it. Easy said than done. Of course, somebody has just lost a job. Yeah. Somebody has just lost a business. Of course, maybe somebody took a bad debt or it was untimely, and they're already in that particular situation. And when you spoke, then somebody just typed, easy said than done. Let's talk about this anxiety. Hauna do na unakuanga na do. Like, how do you even start accepting the situation? Yeah.
It's the toughest, yes. And just as they have said, easier said than done. Because in psychology, we say you're your own doctor and you're your own medicine. All the solutions that you need, they are within you. So you need to tap into yourself to get these solutions. Tough economic times have so many unforeseeable circumstances. There's retrenchment. You're not prepared for retrenchment. There's debt. You're not prepared to, or maybe you had a plan, you had a game plan and said, maybe in 3-4 years I will be able to service my loan. The taxes are getting higher. Deductions in your salary are getting higher. You're not able to service the loan as you expected. So yes, there's going to be stress, anxiety, depression. There's going to be a lot of suicidal ideations, which we are witnessing right now, especially for the unemployed. Someone gets so desperate, they're not able to fulfill their basic needs. So they decide the best way for them to do is to either die by suicide or other means. So yeah, it is very tough. But from the basics, as I said, is first accepting your situation and saying, now this is where I am right now. I am not able to provide for my basic needs. I am not able to service my debts. I am not able to sustain myself. So the first thing you need to do as a person is adjust to change. Now, change is very uncomfortable for all of us because at the position where I am right now, I am at a comfort zone. I can eat, I can sleep, I can pay my basic bills. It gives me a sense of comfort. So now the hardest thing someone has to go through is to come out of their comfort zone and say, now, I was comfortable with one job. I was comfortable with my 8 to 5. Now my 8 to 5 cannot sustain myself. So how can I be able to deal with this stress attached to not being able to satisfy my needs? Is there anything else that I can do about it? Can I have means to supplement my income? As Anthony said, what options can I explore? If going to the grocery, I was going to buy a tomato at 10 shillings, and if by going to the market I can buy 2 at 10 shillings, then see, I will have to adjust. Despite the fact that it will give me a sense of discomfort, I had this lifestyle or this personality, I don't want to be seen going to the market. Can you get someone else to do it on your behalf if you cannot do it as a person? Again, are you in a position now to tell yourself the truth that this is something I wanted to do, but I'm not in a position to do, so I have to adjust? Because sometimes we keep lying to ourselves, we keep living a false life, we keep faking our personalities. We want to show everybody that we are okay while we are breaking apart most of the time. That is why you hear someone maybe died by suicide, or you get someone maybe took alcohol or drugs, they died of an overdose. And then normally you used to say this person and say, but they used to look composed. But who would anticipate they would do something like that? Who thought? Or maybe because I have the title psychologist or I have the title doctor, or the way Anthony has a title CPA, you think now they have all things gotten together. So sometimes we want to leave behind our titles, we want to leave behind our facades, and then in the real sense, we are suffering or struggling inside. So be in a position to say, if I was a person who ni wa kupiga sherehe, be in a position to tell people right now, I cannot show up because I am not financially stable. Be real with yourself. I used to drive to work. If you ask me, why did you use the matatu today? I just tell you, Kalia, honestly, I'm not able to afford fuel at the moment. It doesn't change the fact that the car is yours. So be in a position to be honest with yourself first. That is how you get help, and that is how you get to help yourself. But if you want to constantly be living a fake life and say, ni stress tu kidogo itapita, you're not going to deal with it. Accept it is making me stressed. It is making me uncomfortable. It is giving me anxiety. Now, what do I need to do about it? So you start from there. Yeah.
Okay, and I just want to pick it from your last point, where you say that ni stress tu kidogo itapita. My next question to you, Kipilimo, is about planning for the future, because the future seems as uncertain to us. Is it also uncertain to you as a finance expert, or there's something we can do?
Obviously, the future is uncertain for so many people, but if you take the necessary step at the moment, we can be able to conquer the future. Okay, as we had said earlier, if we do obvious fundamental thing, if we manage our debt well, sure you'll not be surprised in the future. Next thing is how much are you planning yourself for the future? If you are employed, what is your employment sustainable? In business, we should say, is your business a going concern? How much are you seeing this business in the next 10 years, 5 years? Okay, what is the plan do you have for yourself, for your business? Do you have a strategic plan? Okay, do you have a growth plan? Another thing, if you're an individual, what skills are you equipping yourself with? Okay, the last time you got out of college, how much have you learned? Which skill do you have since the last time you got out of college? They usually say, don't stop learning. You should learn each and every day. And the best way is to learn as a skill. Okay? What skill have you gotten yourself into at the moment? Apart from the main job that you have as employed, can you be able to start a side hustle? Okay, can you gain a skill for you to start something for your future? It may take time, but are you preparing yourself for it? Okay, if you are a business person, where do you see this business in the next 10 years? Okay, what level of measures are you putting in place in terms of looking at your costs? Okay, looking at your profit margins. Okay, looking at your cash flows. Okay, looking at your sales. How much can you diversify your sales? Okay, you sell to one region. Can you conquer other regions? Okay, you sell one product. Can you add another product? You have learned from this one product. Can you add another product? Okay, can you add another service? Okay, make sure you are doing networking enough with the right people for you to grow your business. Okay, the certain thing is that the future is coming. Okay, the future is coming. Time is going, but how much are we preparing ourselves? Okay, how much are we preparing ourselves? They usually say in business, 60% of startups die in the first 5 years. 90% die in 10 years. Only 10% survive. And the 10% that survive are the one that last for long. Okay, so how much are you preparing yourself, especially in business? Are you saving your cost? Are you looking into the cheaper debts? Are you looking at your employees? Do you have the best employees in place? Your market segmentation, where is your market? Okay, are you compliant to the regular the government policies, government laws? No, we are finding ourselves nowadays. So many people don't plan themselves or don't work with the government. Okay, I'm also a tax consultant, and we have found ourselves that so many people, when they start their business, they don't consider the tax as a risk. Nowadays, you tell them consider tax as a risk also, because make sure you are compliant early enough. Okay, so that you don't find yourself in the wrong hands of law after 5 years, after you have really worked out for 5 years, and then just a taxman come and close your business. Okay, you have for 5 years, maybe you are not compliant with, maybe you are a contractor not compliant with NCA. You are not compliant with KEBS. If you are a manufacturer, you are not compliant with anti-counterfeit. Okay, look at those things for your future. Okay, avoid dealing with the legal things, with the legal stuff. Okay, and I'm sure if you take the necessary step, if you know yourself, the way Sarah said, consider first knowing yourself, knowing your challenges, and knowing your strengths for the future. Yeah.
And just back to you, are there businesses that are more appropriate to start during this time, especially for those who are now having their proceeds going down? You've said that a business, and statistics show that many do not even survive the first 5 years. Majority do not survive 10 years. Let's talk about projection and strategic planning for a minute. Let's look at how the future looks like. Are there businesses that you would advise that these ones look like they may flourish during this particular time?
Yeah, there's some business that will flourish. The best thing is to have a paradigm shift in your business. Okay, at the moment you are talking about internet. Okay, we're talking about artificial intelligence. What's your business doing towards these new technologies that are coming in place? Is your business online at the moment as we speak? How much have you invested for your business to be online in any sector, in any service, in any industry, in any goods, or in any company that deals with goods, service? What are you aligning yourself with the new technology? Okay, in your business, do you have enough system and procedures that you have put in place to align with these new technologies, these new trends? Okay. Next thing, if you realize the fact that things are changing, okay, there are so many ways for you to improve or starting a new business. Okay, now there is digital marketing. Okay, it's a very good platform for people to do, and that one doesn't need to. You have a lot of capital for you to do. You can just advertise somebody's goods, somebody's service. Just be an intermediary, and for sure you'll get some more income going forward. Making sure that you are running yourself with the right people, okay, with the right experts for you to get enough advice, sufficient advice for your future. Okay, for sure there's no business that will die if you work hard towards it. Okay, you have to align yourself, shift your mind, see what other people are doing, see what other countries have done, especially developed countries. What have they done for them to get ourselves? You know, pandemics, economic challenges has been there before. Obviously, it goes away with some people. Some people suffer; they go under with the challenges. But some people come out very strong, very resilient. Okay, but it's now you, as a business purpose, as an individual, to go and check what are the success stories. There was an economic crisis in 2008, in 1992. Go back and see what did people do. Those who fail, how did they fail? Those who succeed, what did they do? Okay, and I'm very sure history is a very good teacher. And you learn from the mistakes that people do, from the lessons. And I'm very sure you'll survive this crisis, and you'll move forward. Yes.
History is a good teacher. That is CPA Kiplimo. He's on set today. Just help you to actually mitigate the tough economic times. And our director, Kosgara Apche series, tuned in, and he's in the comment sections. He says he's tuned in from Eldoret, though he's not at the office. And that reminds me about Quincy, who says akili yake ishafika Rimoi. So let's talk about Rimoi for a minute. So this weekend, the 17th and the 18th day, that is Saturday and Sunday, we are going to Rimoi, and actually Rimoi is in Elgeyo Marakwet County. As we go to Rimoi, there are other sites that we shall go through, the E10 viewpoint, the Torok Falls, and all those. All you need to do is to reach out to us, because we are here to make sure that you enjoy your weekend as you rejuvenate. As we are talking about financial crisis, as we are talking about psychological resilience, one of those things you may want to do is also go somewhere and relax, go somewhere and have fun with other people, go somewhere and exchange ideas with other people who may be doing better than yourself. So this particular weekend, we're giving you a chance to go to Rimoi. Twende tukajibambe Rimoi with Dawi Afrique Safaris. Now we are Dawi Afrique Photography and Safari. So make sure you're also sure that you'll get some good photos at the end of the rope. So thank you so much for creating time to be with us. And coming to you, Sarah, let's talk about the issue of seeking help. Because you see, most of the time when we talk about seeking help, people think about taking a loan. Let's now talk about financial, the place of psychological help in terms of managing financial stress. Is there, first of all, something as such? And in this case, most of the time, of course, you'll need something from me. How effective is it? Yeah.
Okay. It is very effective because, one, for you to be mentally healthy, it means your physical, your social, your psychological, your financial, all these aspects of your life have to be in check for you to achieve a sense of well-being mentally, because it's a holistic. It does not exist independently. So I cannot be mentally stable if my finances are not right. I cannot be mentally stable if my social life is not right. So by seeking help, you need to ask yourself, what kind of help do I need, and who am I seeking this help from? So we as mental health practitioners, the best help we can give you in these financial times is the basics of behavioral adjustment. Behavioral adjustment comes in the sense of what you think affects how you feel, and then it's going to affect how you're going to act at the end of the day. So if you think that you need to work on your financial life, it is going to give you the feeling or the sense that there is a problem somewhere, there is a challenge I'm experiencing, and automatically it's going to affect how you're going to act. So now you can act by taking a loan, you can act by seeking advice, you can act by seeking behavioral changes that are going to help you mitigate your financial challenges. So first, having realistic expectations in that, yes, I am going to seek help, but the same people I need help from are going through also the same financial challenges. Or what kind of help do I need from the basics? Being in a position where you can go through career counseling. You have an 8-to-5 job, yes, but you need to explore more of your strengths, more of your interest for you to grow a side hustle. So see, they say when you're choosing or you're picking a talent or a hobby, you have to pick a hobby that either helps you make use of your free time, that adds value to you, or does not create a form of strain. So, for example, when you're thinking of a side hustle or something to supplement your income and cushion you through the economic times, find something that resonates with your passion. So that if I come from my 8 to 5 job, I am going to do something I am more passionate about. So it does not drain me mentally. And also, this is something I do freely. It is my happy place. So as long as much as it is giving you mental comfort, it is also earning you a living. So we explore your strengths, we explore your weaknesses, your values, your virtues, your personality, and we can help to align this with something that you can do that interests you and helps you. So that is one of the ways you get help in terms of behavioral adjustment. Number 2, being able or being in a position to help you set smart objectives. And smart is, we mean they are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they're time bound. So that you're not just setting objectives haphazardly. You get someone who guides you and helps you fine tune and say, yes, you want to achieve this and this at this age and at this time, but there are these challenges. So be in a position to accept the things that you cannot change. I will pick a lesson from the Serenity Prayer. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. There are things you're going to encounter that are not within your capacity to change. For example, when COVID came, you had your goals, you had your plans, but it happened, and then this is something you wouldn't change, but it was something you had to learn to adjust. So also when you're seeking help, ask yourself, who am I seeking help from? What do I want to do with this help? And how is it going to make my life better? Because you cannot be going through financial challenges and then you're going to Mganga wa Kitui. Mganga wa Kitui is also looking for money. How is it going to cushion your financial needs? You see? So if I'm going through such challenges, I need to go and look for an economist who's going to help me. If I look for a Shylock, it means I'm getting myself into more trouble. So know where you're seeking help from, know what kind of help you need and what you're going to use with this help. You know, you can come to me as a therapist and say, maybe I need help to deal with my financial challenges. Yes, we are going to talk through, and then you come out of there and you say, inayo ni ngumu sifanyi. At the end of the day, you sought for help, but you're not willing to embrace the help and to work on it. So at the end of the day, you have to know where, why, and how. Yeah.
And thank you so much for that. Tusiende kwa mganga wa Kitui by the way. Pia amesota. Anatafuta kitu ya kusurvive pia na yeye. So let's come back to you, Kiplimo, and of course that's so as we come back to you, Kiplimo, let's talk about the issue of government. Sarah has put it so well that there are things that come and we can't go through them. And of course, from your position, you can study government. And in this case, I want us to relate to the finance bill. You were here to talk about it the other day, and you actually told us, surely it shall pass, and that it has come to pass. Let's talk about how to study these policies and how to know where to position yourself. Let's talk about, if there was someone listening in government right now, as a professional, what would be your advice?
The best advice first is to the business people, especially business, because obviously if you are employed, most of the time you don't have any control on your taxes. It's your employer who deduct your taxes. There's something you can do much. But if you are in business, government policies are there and they change every time. Okay, the best is for you to know, first of all, to know these government policies. Okay, if you're not in a position, look for an expert to explain to you the government policies. Second, let's talk about the new finance bill. The new finance bill has some major changes that the business really need to see and check on them before even you start doing business, especially after July. And one of the things is adjustments in the way you do things. Okay, First of all, obviously, if you are in fuel industry, obviously the cost of fuel will increase. So it means when the cost of fuel increase, it cuts across. So if you are a businessman, it means now even your cost will increase across the board. Fuel is a factor that cuts across any kind of business. Okay. If you're a content creator, be aware that now there's a tax for you that was not there. Okay, there are some policies. If you're a business person that deals with a turnover of more than 1 million but less than 5 million, you are in a tax bracket called turnover tax. Okay, the rate has increased from 1% to 3%. Okay, so these are the things you are aware of. You should be aware of. Okay, going forward, there's another very strong point that was put in the finance bill that people also need to be aware of. Okay, like now, for all your expenses going forward, for you to claim an expense in your organization, it should be expense that has gone through the e-team system. These are strong issues or key points that we can do. But if you are somebody,
and maybe just to interrupt, because nilikuwa naonanga tukupeleka zile za super, does that include that?
Yeah, it includes that. Okay. If it's like business expense, make sure you don't throw away those expenses. It really help you, especially from next year. It really help you because they will not allow any other expense apart from expense that as a QR code. Okay, or it's Teams enabled. So going forward, make sure for all your expenses, especially business expense, make sure you buy them from registered taxpayers. For it to be easy for you to use it as an expense going forward. And obviously, if you are a VAT registered, make sure you give out your PIN number for you to be able to claim the same input. Okay, these are the measures that will be tightened as time goes. We may not feel it now, but I'm very sure in the next 2 months, 3 months, you'll start feeling it. But the earlier you are aware of it, the better. Okay, and obviously for the government also should look at the common man. Okay, what wanaumia. Okay, I know they want to collect the most taxes, they want to put the best policies, but what is the effect? Okay, what's the effect of these policies on the common man? Like the one thing I'm seeing on this finance bill, especially on the tax part, I'm seeing it has started to create a negative. There'll be a negative. There'll be some negativity on this thing, especially now. If you go to this small shop, you have started seeing that people no longer take Lipa na M-Pesa. Okay, they have started revealing Lipa na M-Pesa. People want to go cash way because they know cash you cannot trace. Okay, so that's one of the and the government should really start looking at on this thing properly. Okay, because they may put a lot of measures. They want to collect taxes, but also it can work the opposite way. Okay, so the government should really look at these issues. What was the best way of implementing these issues? And I think the best way is also to educate people. They should do this thing by educating people first. Okay, before you come and tell people about the law, because most of the time when you deal with these government officials, they tell you the law is very clear. Okay, they tell you very clear, but they have forgotten that the same law.
It is only clear in their minds.
In their minds, they forget that they have no idea about the same law. Okay, people just want to make the ends meet. Okay, sometimes so many people don't care about what the law says. Anataka kupata pesa yake, and he continues with his own life. But when the government comes, when the county government comes, when they say the law is very clear, you are supposed to do this and this and this and this. But the problem is, where was this law when I was starting my business? Okay, you have been seeing me growing. They have never come, but they come later. Okay, so also this is an approach that the government should try to use. They should start to educate the masses first, properly. Before you even go for them, please educate them first. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for that. The law is very clear. Okay, na leo tuko na punchline. Mwingine ametupeleka Shakahola, ametupeleka wapi? Anyway, of course, these I think much has been said, and I usually love asking the question that what is the wisdom of sharing too much when maybe we've not started? So let's give you an opportunity to start, and on that note, let me give Sarah a chance to give a parting shot from a psychological point of view.
Thank you, Kalia. So my parting shot would be, when you're faced with any challenge or anything that forces you to come out of your comfort zone, you have to develop a coping mechanism or coping skills. So there are positive coping mechanisms and negative coping mechanisms. Like Anthony has said, one of the negative coping mechanisms is to stop Lipa na M-Pesa and start taking cash because it's untraceable. But the aftermath is wrong. I see memes going around at Piriton ni 5 bob, sijui skuma ni 20 bob.
Chagua moja.
Yeah, so unaweza nunua Piriton, it's 5 bob, and you take the Piriton. But for how long? What side effects does it have? Ni kuambie kwata ya chrome sijui ni 250, utakunywa uzime, na nyama kilo moja ni for something. So pick. So at the end of the day, what coping mechanism are you taking? What impact does it have on you as a person, and what is the long-term effect? And also, some of us, instead of facing our challenges, we choose to avoid or to run away from the challenge. So be in a capacity where you're able to deal with your challenges one at a time, because the more you avoid something, the bigger it grows, and tomorrow you're going to face an even bigger challenge. So be in a position to deal with your challenges, be in your position to develop coping mechanisms, and in this case positive coping mechanisms, so that you don't crawl back to either addiction, because right now there are so many addictions like alcohol and substance addiction. There is gambling addiction, because now you want to gamble with the little money you have in the hope of growing the money. So have positive coping mechanisms, accept yourself and your situation, be open to change, and also be able to adjust your behavior to cushion yourself through such times. Because the reality is, nobody is coming to save you. You're your own savior. You're the only one who's going to pick yourself up when you're down. So for you to work on your mental health and to stay sane through this period, be real with yourself, work on yourself, and be your own savior.
Okay.
You.
Be your own savior. Actually, the biggest point is that nobody's coming for you. So you have to actually pick yourself up and embrace yourself and embrace the challenges that you go through. Of course, thank you so much, Sarah, for creating time to be with us this particular morning. It's always a pleasure having you around. And I think to my viewers, of course, hope you took notes, and I hope you live a better life after all that talk. To you, Kiplima, you are parting shot.
Yeah, first of all, the situation is tough at the moment. It may not ease in the short term, but obviously it will ease in the long term. And the best thing to do in this situation, as Sarah said, first of all, accept the situation. We cannot change. There's little that we can do to change the situation the way it is, but the best is to accept the way it is, to put measures to deal with these challenges. Let's face these challenges head on. The best way is to face this thing head on. What measures can we put to overcome these challenges? Okay, the government is trying, everybody is trying, but what measures are we putting as an individual, as a business person? Put the right measures for you to go through these challenges. If you are in business, if you want to start a business, make sure also you seek the right expert, seek the right finance expert, seek the right information before you start. As you continue, make sure you also get the right information for you to avoid obstacles, for you to avoid the obstacles in the future. And if you do these things, for sure, you'll start seeing some progress in your business. You start seeing some positivity in your business, and everything will be well. Obviously, as I said earlier, economic crisis has been happening. It has happened so many times in the past, and this is not the last one. Obviously, it will come, but we need to be resilient. We need to be resilient. We need to put ways on how to deal with them, and surely we will overcome. We'll overcome. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that, and of course, also thank you so much, Kiplima, for creating time to be with us this particular morning. Let's keep being resilient. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep making sure that we do not, we are not overtaken by the situation. Rather, we adjust to the situation And of course, as the topic was, let's have psychological resilience and also financial adjustment, so that when you adjust, then you are able to adapt. And with that, thank you so much. And I'll just finish this particular broadcast by telling you, tukutane Rimoi, to relax, tujipange vizuri as we start the second part of the year. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone who made the broadcast a success, our producer Mildred, and our director Kim, and also our photographer Fanuel, and everyone else who made effort to make sure that the Morning Glory this particular morning is a success. Thank you so much.